Hey everyone, and welcome back to Master Your Life Beyond the Founder. I'm your podcast host, Luke Beestall, and I have an international guest joining us today from Arkansas, United States of America. I'm super excited to be welcoming Shelby to the show today. And I'm just going to go straight in with saying this. She is a marketing boss, like literally the boss. And I'm going to let her introduce herself just in a brief second, but I just want to share this because this is what I know I've said this on only a few episodes, guys, you listening in. The beauty of networking and the beauty of connecting with people all over the world via a podcast is just insane. So I really hope you enjoy this episode today. I know it's going to be a powerful one. We've just been chatting before, and Shelby has said nothing is off the table. Ask me anything. So I know it's going to be interesting. So Shelby, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, Luke. This is exciting. And hey to all the Europeans out there. What up, y'all? Welcome to the podcast from the South over here.
You've got to put the Southern accent in there, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't go away. I don't know how to not do it.
Brilliant, brilliant stuff. So I think the best place to sort of open this up to the guys tuning in is, look, I've obviously given you this title of marketing boss. Tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about what it is that you do day to day and your business.
Yeah, so I'm the CEO of the Marketing Broker. We do all things digital marketing. So we get put on retainer by small businesses. We handle their Google business profile. We do their social media content. So Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, all the things. We also manage their SEO. So we really dive into the new AI stuff that we have to do, making sure that they show up on these AI platforms. And then also like websites and things like that too, that really enhance their digital presence. And then here locally, we have a content studio, so they can come in, they can shoot their own content, we can shoot it for them, whatever works, but really helping those smaller companies here locally be able to have a place to come and shoot that content, and they're not in their bathroom, they're not doing a selfie in the car, like they actually have a place that they can come and have a whole studio to themselves.
Oh, that's amazing. So you're basically helping these people get off the ground. You're taking that little bit of
Yeah.
pressure off them. You're allowing them to put their energy and time elsewhere. I mean, I want to ask this because obviously you've been in this a while. How long have you been doing this for? What, it was quite a while, wasn't it?
Yes, so I've been doing marketing for small businesses for 14 years. And this is my 10-year anniversary of this business because prior to this business, I had a window tint shop and sign shop with a previous partner. And that's what I started doing at 18. That was his dream, was to own a window tint shop. So I made it all possible through the marketing. But that was like back in the day, and I'm not even that old, but we did like chamber events and we did commercials on TV, and not like showing up on the news, like an actual commercial on the television. Like that's what we were doing. And then just learning that old school marketing. And then it started to transition into Facebook and Instagram back in 2014. So about 2 years into that. And so that's when I really started to learn what digital marketing was and how to incorporate it in our business. And we were already to six figures within the first year of business due to the marketing efforts that I was doing back then and the importance of networking and things like that. And so once we started doing digital marketing stuff, I had friends be like, hey, can you help me with my business? Like, can you set mine up? And I'm like, sure. Well, so once that first business was kind of like over, we split our ways. I was one of the first five digital marketing agencies here in Arkansas to start doing digital marketing for small businesses. And let me tell you, if I went back 10 years, I would be probably really sad with myself because I don't know why people believed me like, oh yeah, she can do it. Like I had no idea what I was doing, but none of us did, right? None of us knew what we were doing when Facebook started and Instagram came about for business. So now I'm glad that, okay, I'm like one of the OGs, but also super happy that I'm still serving some of those clients I had 10 years ago, which is pretty cool.
Well, first of all, massive respect, Shelby. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And the fact that, you had started somewhere, navigated those challenges and have now set up something that's got so much longevity in it. Obviously, 14 years experience. Let's not knock that.
Yeah.
Starting at 18 years old, it must have been a bit of a, well,
Mm,
even going into that, because a lot of people go down self-employed, the societal route. Obviously, you've gone against that. Would you say, though,
yeah.
through when you got into the marketing, would you say the timing helped for you? Was that sort of like you got in at the right time and the right moment, or? Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. I would definitely say so. It's kind of like multi-level marketing. Don't know if that's like a super famous thing over there, but tons of people do it here. But it's like if you get on the ground level, then obviously you're going to be the one making the most money in 5 to 10 years. And I would say that it did help me. But the thing that I really deal with and struggle with now as a business is we have these kids coming out of college and they think like, oh, I went to college for 4 years because they can now get a social media degree. And I do air quote that because it is air quotes. I hired one and she doesn't know anything about it. And so it's one of those things where, okay, they have the social media degree, but they don't have the real life experience yet. They're coming out of college expecting to either one, get a job and make six figures right away, or two, start their own business. And yet they don't really know what they're doing. And so that's kind of the struggle. Yes, I'm an OG, but then on the other side, we're having all these people come out and go, oh, well, I can do that. Oh, well, I can do that. And they're cutting things in half, like prices in half. And for us that have been in it for so long, we're like, okay, well, we're worth it. And they're like, well, these people can do the same thing for half the price. So I would say the timing definitely helped for sure, but at the same time, being a technical OG in it is not helping me as much as I wish it would have. Like it's just a constant reselling of myself.
Right, and what do you okay, this is good to hear this, because
Hmm.
obviously, you've stayed in it, right? Which is
Yeah.
massive. That's a great win there. What do you feel helps you stand out as a marketer and in business to keep that clientele in and ultimately keep growing the
Yeah.
business?
I think it's just the honesty and transparency that I give my clients and my team and even my friends because we can do digital marketing for you, but if what we're doing is not working, I'm not going to get out here and fudge the numbers. I'm not going to get out here and lie to you. I'm going to be like, listen, we did these Google ads, we spent $1,000 on them, you got three people to click on it, they were all bots, and so I say we go back to meta. It's just like it's a constant I guess training or testing of what we're doing for these people because each person is so different. Each business is so different. The niches are different. Like what works for them doesn't work for another one usually. And so I really hone into the fact that I am transparent with my client about, hey, this isn't working or this is. In fact, I didn't get a client to sign last week because who they were using was doing a great job. They didn't necessarily like the person. Okay. So like personality stuff was kind of bad, but like they had me come in, tell them what I could do. And so well, hey, this is what's up. I was the same exact price as they were, the other person. I was doing the exact same thing that they were going to be, or they were already doing for them. And they were like, well, okay, so what's going to be different? I was like, nothing. Like, literally, nothing is different. She's doing a great job for you. If you can get over the personality thing, just keep her. Like, she's already doing a great job for you. And I really think that gains respect from people. I'm not out here trying to like cut throats. I'm not out here trying to steal clients. Like, there's so many people out there that need our services that we will all be busy. And it is a personality thing, I think, and a brand thing, because as you said, I've branded myself as boss. So, of course, I know a lot. I share a lot of education with people on social media already and through my book and things like that. So, I think that helps me get clients and also the network that I've grown over 14 years. Of course, that helps too.
I think I love that. The
Hmm.
superpower that's coming through to me, and I'm sure the audience will agree, is you're very strong. Like the way
Yeah.
you speak, the way you articulate, sort of even talking about marketing as a whole is very much like, I've got this. I
Yeah.
know if I,
Yeah.
I know if I know if I can help you. I know if I can't help you. I won't sugarcoat it,
Hmm.
like you say, fudge it over. I will just say it straight how it is. And it's very interesting to hear this because, well, I say it's interesting. It's quite refreshing at the same time because the
Yeah.
authenticity is where it's very easy, as like you talk about the quote unquote the social media degrees coming in. It can be
Yeah.
quite, how to put it in I guess this is European or English term, is I call it fluffy. We call it fluffy, right?
Hmm.
So it's a bit
Hmm.
like soft. It's just, a little, you're sort of just touching it. You're not
Right.
engrossed in it. You've not done the dirty work. But just on this, from your experience, right, with social media, because obviously it's evolved, AI's evolved,
Oh,
everything's sort of
yeah.
moving so quickly. Sometimes it's so hard to keep up.
Right.
What's been the sort of biggest game changer that you've seen within companies that's helped their business grow and really get off the ground from a marketing perspective? What's been the biggest game changer?
I would even say this is for me too. It's allowing other people that are experts in that field to take over that area of your business. So for me personally, let's take marketing out. For me, I'm a creative, and I'm sure there's plenty of creatives that are listening to this right now. We don't do numbers. Y'all all know you're probably laughing right now because you're like, yes, I hate it. The only number I like to make has a dollar sign on the front of it. And other than that, I don't like dealing with that part of my business, and I thought that I could handle all of it. But just 2 years ago, I know, right? That's probably bad. But 2 years ago, I hired an amazing bookkeeper. He does all my payroll, he makes sure that I stay on track. And once he broke down everything in my business, he was like, these are your money makers. So I had like two or three different line items, and he was like, these are the things that are making you money. Great, I can sell to a freaking wall if I needed to, right? Okay, so I like hit those three things, and my business expanded probably 40% just over the first 6 months by focusing on the things that were making me money. I never would have known that. I would have just continued in the hamster wheel of like, God, money in, money out, money in, money out, like the whole thing, until I got the guy that knew what to do for my business and to help me really point my sales in the right direction. So I think with my clients, I see the biggest impact in their business when they're like, yo, the marketing broker, Shelby, she knows what's up. I'm going to let her take over my marketing. I'm going to put my focus elsewhere. And that's the biggest part as small business owners. Like, I understand, like, we have small budgets, right? We don't necessarily trust other people. I mean, I had to open up my books to a man and be like, oh no, I totally suck at managing money. Like, I know I don't have a lot. I'm sorry. And so it was hard for me to be like, okay, I've got to open this up, give this over to him. But look what happened to my business. I now have five amazing team members. Like, I was able to hire people and expand my business even more just over the course of 2 years. So that is what I really want people to know is just take the leap, take the chance, and open something up in your business, whether it be marketing, bookkeeping, whether it be selling. What if you're not a great salesperson, but you love to do whatever service you offer? You love to be the mechanic. You love to be the HVAC person that goes into the houses to do it. Well, hire a salesperson if that's something you don't like to do. And I think that's a huge game changer in business in general.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. I can relate to that, and I'm sure people listening in who's sort of that moment, I guess, take that risk. Is something that I
Hmm.
heard, from a guy actually who was on the show. He sort of said, "No risk, no story," which I thought was
Yeah.
actually quite cool because you've got nothing to share, you've got no experience to share. But I think just how you've said there about that 2 year shift for you, I'm so glad you said 2 years and not like 2 months,
Oh God,
because
no. Yeah.
no, no, it's just like you'll always hear this like scale to this, or grow your business from X to
Yes.
Y in like 8 weeks or 30 days, because we see it, don't we? The quick clickbait
All
stuff.
the
So,
time.
so
Yes.
for you, you said about not trusting people. So obviously you were sharing all these things that I know go through my mind as well when I make a business investment, and I'm sure people are probably
Hmm.
going, "Yeah, that's my fear right now." It's like I've got this great idea and I don't want anyone to have it, or I don't want to bring anybody else in because I just don't trust anyone. How did you
Yeah.
navigate that? What did you
Mm.
like? What was going through your mind to be like, right, something's got to change here, and I've got to bring somebody in to look at this bottleneck in my business?
So I love to share this story about the first time I ever hired team members, and it's going to really help a lot of people. And please do not be like my teenage stepdaughter and not listen to me. Like, actually listen to the mistake I'm making at this point. So that way you don't do it too. But back in oh gosh, 2018, I believe is what it was. So I don't even do math that well, right? I don't even know how many years I would have been in business, 4 years ish or something like that. I saw one of my competitors, and of course, I'm like freaking out because they seem more successful. They hired all these people. I said, well, if she's doing that, I'm going to do that. So I go out, I hire six people, and I'm like, okay, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this. Okay, we're going to do it. We had our first team meeting, and I'm just standing there going, man, I don't really know exactly what I'm doing. I mean, I just remember standing there going like, y'all have anything to say? I mean, like there was like no direction. So I hire these six people. We have an awful team meeting. A month later, I'm like, listen, I'm sorry, this isn't working out. Everyone had to go. I hired six people. Within a month, I was like, I have no money to pay you anymore. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. I'm just going to have to start over. I hired my business coach at that time, and he talked me through like, me giving up, right? I was like, I'm an idiot. I can't believe I did this. I was just trying to be bigger. I was trying to look bigger. That's the problem. I was trying to look bigger on social media than what I really was. And he said, listen, you are doing a great job with you and my content creator at the time, Chelsea. She's been with me 8 years. He was like, y'all are doing a great job. This is what's working for your life. This is what's paying your bills. So focus on this until you can really scale and really plan it out. I'm like, okay. So then that brings me up to, okay, 2 years ago, I got this bookkeeper. Then I start making a little bit more money. And then about 6 months ago, I was like, I'm ready. I'm ready to take the leap. I'm ready to grow my team again. I've got my shit together finally. Not really. We never really fully do. But like in the moment, I had it more together than what I did in 2018. So I ended up hiring my team now, and it has been the best thing I've ever done because I've got an admin assistant who does all of my admin work. Again, I don't do books, I don't do admin stuff. I am ADD creative, like old, like that's me 100%. In fact, I've probably switched subjects like 6 times already. And so
It's
she
all
does
good.
that. I've got a she's got a I've got a marketing assistant that she's just really my right hand girl all the time. She goes with me to events. She does B-roll stuff. She helps me with things that I need in the office. I mean, just little things that someone right out of college needs, right? I want to expose her to everything in my business so she can find where she fits, 6 months or 8 months down the road. And then I've got two amazing salespeople that are actually, I can't really ever duplicate myself, but I am training them on managing clients. I'm training them on selling. So that way I can then focus on myself and focus on the education and focus on the conferences and things that I want to do and my next book that I'm writing, like all the things. And so those are, and I'm sorry, I only hired four people. I included myself. There's five of us. And so that's where I'm at now in my business is more so the training and being able to delegate things to these people, and it's so hard to not be like, you know what, I'll just do it. If Maddie's doing something like, yeah, I'll just do it. And like, no, I have to allow her to get to the goal on her own, how she wants to do it. As long as she gets there, that's all that matters.
I think it's quite mature the way you've like explained that. You could tell you've been through it. Like I say, you shared that
Yeah.
experience where like you say, let's be straight here. You never have your shit together. You genuinely
No.
could be on the odd day and off chance go, oh, let's just give it a go
Yeah.
and see what happens. I know you've got an admin assistant because I was corresponding with her for this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So,
My
so
bad. Yeah.
yeah. So absolutely love that.
Yeah.
I think that's great that you've got that team with you. I mean, obviously, for somebody sort of listening in here, I mean, this is great where you've expanded things too.
Hmm.
Delegation is massive when it comes to, like you say, you're a
Yeah.
creative. You want to do the writing. You want to do your book. You want to be able to
Hmm.
educate. You want to give back, but you can't give if you've not got it because you're just constantly putting your energy in six different
Yeah.
places. Where would be the best place for someone to start? So if they're sort of in
Mm.
this idea phase and they're in this
Hmm.
procrastination phase, what would you say if you was sat opposite them in a coffee shop and they was like, Shelby, I look up to you. You've been there. You've got the badge. You've got the t-shirt. I know you're still growing.
Hmm.
What do I
Yeah.
do? Where do I start with this? Because I feel so overwhelmed with everything that I see on social media.
Man, I have these conversations a lot with like friends and also clients. I mean, I just got off the phone yesterday with somebody and he goes, wow, this is really overwhelming. And I'm like, I know, I'm not trying to overwhelm you, but we do have to get all this together. Um, I would say write down the like your favorite part of your business. Let's say you haven't started yet. Let's say I'll take my, like me. My favorite part of my business is currently educating people on marketing. That's my favorite part. When I first started business, my favorite part was anything that made me money. And that's okay. That's okay if you're like, I want to start a business to make money because I am sick of the shit that I deal with from 9 to 5.
Yep.
Absolutely. If that is what you want to do, freaking do it. I remember going, how can I make money now? And honestly, I'm still the same way. I'm like, what course can I create? What book can I write? What workshop can I do online? Like, where can I go speak at to make money? Like, I am always trying to make money because that's what we do. Entrepreneurs, we love what we do, but also we want to make money. We want to have the freedom. So write down what your goal is, like your biggest goal, and what is your favorite part. Even if it's a fantasy, what's your favorite part of that fantasy? What's the favorite part of that job or that business that you want to create? And then I want you to write down what's the least favorite thing you like. I just really do not want to deal with Facebook. I tell people the best referral you can give to me is someone that hates Facebook and doesn't even have an account. Those are the two people. Those are the ones I want. If they have a business and they hate Facebook, that's my person. I want to do it for them. So whatever that least, and it could be the money part, it could be the financial part. And that's obviously, I've already told you, my worst thing is the financial part. Like I don't want anything to do with it. I just want to make money. Tell me how much money I can spend. What does my payroll look like? Is my kid taken care of? I'm great, you know? So I think those are the two things that I would tell you if I'm sitting with you at a coffee shop is what's your favorite thing? What's your least favorite thing? And look to fulfill that least favorite thing as soon as you can. You don't have to do it from day one because ultimately I feel it's important that you know how to do every aspect of your business. If everyone on my team quit right now, I know how to do every single one of their jobs because you do not need to let other people have that shit over your head ever. Do not let people have that over your head. If they think that you cannot succeed without them, that is not an okay employee to have. You want people that are coming up with you as a partner, being able to be like, this, she's really helping me find what I'm good at. Like Maddie, my marketing assistant, I am helping her find what she's good at. She's doing some content creation. She's out here following me around, listening to my conversations with clients. She's at consults with me. Like, I want her to find what she's good at and I'm going to help her with that. But I can do all of it without her, kind of thing. And that may sound a little selfish. It may sound a little cocky, but you have to remember that if you are starting a business, it's your dream. And if they're with you, they have to support that dream and you have to be able to know it. So write your favorite thing down, write your least favorite thing down, and get that least favorite thing taken care of first.
Mic drop. Repeat that, guys. Listen, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go back and listen to that probably
Yeah.
a couple of times. One thing that really struck me, just hearing that, was that future proofing your business, in a
Yeah.
way of that you know the roles, and that if
Mm-hmm.
those people was to sort of drop from the business, because we know as entrepreneurs things can change in a heartbeat, and that if
Yeah.
that means a team member drops out, that you're not in a place of despair and that your business is
Right.
upside down, that you can just carry on, fill the gap if needed, or take on the extra work just until you find the right
Mm-hmm.
person. I think that is, I mean, obviously the breaking down the goals and stuff like that, and looking at
Yeah.
the thing that you don't want to do, like say if you don't want to do the Facebook or anything, that's
Yeah.
brilliant. But that future proofing part, I think we sometimes just put too much into people and let them do it, and then we just let
Oh,
that go.
yeah. Yeah, and I would even say, how have you set yourself up? Like, I was just in this leadership conference last week, and they were like, legacy leadership, how have you set your business up for when you're not around? So, as a single mom, I'm out a lot. I mean, I'm with my kid, I've got her for spring break, or she's going on a field trip. And I mean, that's the best part about me being a business owner and having great people is I get to do stuff with my kid. And so, how have I set my business up if I'm like, yo, I'm going to be gone? I also travel a lot. Like, we're going to Barcelona, we're going to be going to Vegas. Like, we've got all these things. And so, we travel a lot, Nick and I. And it's one of those things where when I'm gone for a week, I want to make sure everything's being able to be taken care of. In fact, when we were gone to Cancun a couple weeks ago, I said, I don't even care if the business is on fire, if my studio is on fire, like it's nothing I can do. I'm gonna be on the beach in Mexico. I'm really sorry. But also, it's a great thing to know, like, okay, if my business is taken care of. So yes, let's think about the future. We're taking care of all the roles, but also when you are building your team, make sure you have people that know how to do your job or correspond. Just like I'm pretty sure that's what um Hallie was doing. She was corresponding with you while I was away because she does all my email stuff. And so it's one of those things that we have to make sure we have both sides of that coin. People that can take care of our business so we can live our life because you worked hard for this life. I have to tell myself that, like in the mirror, like, bitch, you worked hard for this life. You are allowed to travel. You are allowed to go and take off at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and go to the gym or go for a walk. I did that yesterday. I was just over it. It was a Monday. I was like, done. I'm going to go for a walk, you know? And so it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And we're allowed to do that as business owners. That's why we do what we do. So make sure you have both of those taken care of. Definitely.
I mean, what a life. Traveling
I
around
know.
sounds amazing. I mean,
But also like 14 years down the road. So
I
let's
know,
also
I know.
say like and I always tell people that because they're like, oh my God, you're always traveling. And I'm like, and so like I've had 80-hour work weeks. Before I had my kid, oh my God, I'd work 60 to 80 hours a week. And then having her really just changed my whole perspective of life of I'm no longer selfish. I was the most selfish person in the entire world. I mean, probably borderline narcissistic because I was so focused on my business and I let my husband at the time down and didn't focus on our family and things like that. And when I had her, I was like, nothing in the world matters now. Like I could just quit everything, you know?
Yeah, we're going to get onto that because this is going to be really
Yeah.
powerful. Obviously, you're a mum and stuff like that. Something that I wanted to, I love that, and I appreciate you sort of going, hey, listen, I've done the 80-hour weeks. Because again, people do
Yeah.
see, don't they? People do see online the sort of cocktail on the beach in
Yes.
Cancun and stuff like that. And go, God, it's all right for some. But
Yeah.
this is a common mindset thing that stops people as well that I've known, and maybe you can share your insights on this, that they
Hmm.
don't step into this like freedom lifestyle, if you want to call it, because where they've heard from people in the past, and maybe it's just people around them where they go, yeah, well, I know you've got your 9 till 5, but when you do start having your own business, you think you've got more freedom, but you haven't. You're working more than you have been
Right.
ever. You're more stressed. You're more sleepless nights. Like I thought, oh, I just thought I'd be
Hmm.
leaving this night. Do you see what I mean? Like
Yeah.
what's happened for you? What could you give to our audiences this real talk on like, look, this
Yeah.
is actually what goes on.
So I've never worked for anybody. I mean, I didn't go to college. So like right out of high school, I've never really, I mean, I guess in high school I worked as an assistant to a realtor because I got my real estate license too, like right out of high school because I thought that's what I wanted to do. But anyways, so, I think like that experience of working with someone, but it was such an independent work that I kind of had my own schedule. So I really wouldn't say I've even had a boss in general. So I don't really have the experience of going from 9 to 5 to a job. I mean, to a business. So I think I can speak on behalf of a couple of my friends that I have helped it through, with their schedule and things that they've gone from a 9 to 5 to a business. Like, yes, you're going to put in more hours. Yes, you will not sleep. I mean, last night I probably got about 5 hours of sleep between my kid coming in my room at about midnight. And then before that, I was up working a little bit because I just had all these creative minds don't stop, by the way. Like, it's just like a constant. And even as an entrepreneur, once your whole day stops, your brain's finally like, okay, we can think about some things now. You should probably do this. You should probably do that because all the stresses are away. So I take advantage of that and be able to use it, like I take notes or I'm reading or, I'm putting together ideas. So, anyways, I hardly sleep even still, just because of that stuff. But you will definitely stay stressed out. You will definitely worry. If you have a family to take care of, yeah, you're going to have to work a little bit more. Yeah, you're going to have to sacrifice some things. My daughter's 5 now, and she understands that. In fact, we start our days whenever she's with me all day. Like if she's out of school, she's like, okay, mommy, how many calls do you have? And she like
Oh,
counts the calls. Yeah, it's like the cutest thing. She has I wish I could take my camera around, but she has like her own little office here in my office. Like she has her own little desk, and she's been my little boss babe since she was born. She's always worked with me, but so it's kind of like one of those things that you have to. There's no balance. There's a harmony, and we can get into that later. But it's gonna be hard, and that's just the point of it. life is hard in general, but you get to choose your hard. Do you want your hard to be working for somebody 9 to 5, or do you want your hard to be, I've got to give a little bit more right here at the beginning, but I get to have time with my family when I want to. I get to show up to kids' birthday parties. I get to not work on the weekends. I get to travel when I want to, because we do trade off hards. You're either working 9 to 5, or you are getting to work when you want to, but you get a little bit more time freedom. Because ultimately, I feel like that's what we're buying when we have businesses, is the freedom of our time. Hopefully that answered what you were saying. I just kind of went off on it.
I love it. Um, this is why, yeah, the ADD, the sort of just
Yeah.
tangents are
Yeah.
great. Yeah, no, I think it's that choose your hard stood out for me, and I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
a lot of people sort of listening here have got to understand that if they're going to go into something which will be the unknown, if it's
Yeah.
from so used to having a time schedule and so used to
Yeah.
having a pay packet each month, that yes, going into the world of the unknown, it's
Hmm.
very, very much, yeah, like it's going to be hard because there's a lot of things changing, obviously. But then again, you've got a lot more
Yeah.
flexibility with schedule. Love the fact that your daughter's got a little mini office. I think that's great. That
Yeah.
she sort of asks how many calls you've got. That's great. I mean, what
She knows
what
all about it. Yeah.
I know that's amazing. So what is it? Obviously, for her being 5 years old, what do you want to be able to give back to your daughter through this
Mm.
sort of business lens and personal lens to build her into this life?
So I am really proud of myself, and I don't tell myself that often, because as parents, we're so hard on ourselves. Like, are we doing things right? Social media is the worst when it comes to being parents, because you have all these people out there that are showing the good parts of their life, and I'm like, God, have I been like the shittiest mom ever today? And yeah, some days I am a shitty mom. Some days I'm not a great mother. Some days I'm not a great business owner. And that's why I was talking about the harmony. Like, which one's going to get a little bit more of my attention that day? Is my daughter going to get it, or is it my business that's going to get it? Because it's never equal. It's impossible to have equal amounts of anything, in your life. And I think with her, she doesn't really know anything different. I don't even think she knows what I do. She knows I take pictures when we have a camera. She knows I do stickers when I'm putting decals on doors. But she has been with me since she was born. I didn't put her in daycare until she was about 14 months old because of COVID and all that shit. Anyways, her generation is stupid big, by the way. It took like a year to get into daycare. And
Wow,
yeah, I know she's a COVID baby. And so she has that going for her. I'm like, hey, we're going to make a positive out of this thing.
good.
But definitely, I think just her seeing me work and being able to sit in meetings, it's weird for some clients when I walk in and I've got my 5-year-old, or even when she was 3. She is the best at sitting during meetings. She has her notebook now that she can write, knows her letters. She has her little like notebook, and I'm like, okay, I need you to take notes while we're in here. This is who we're meeting, and this is what we're meeting about. And you just let me know at the end of meeting what you think I've missed. And so, like, I give her that opportunity at the end of meetings to be like, okay, my little assistant over here. So, Kinsey, did we forget to ask anything? And like, I let her ask a question. And my clients love to see that side of me, because I am a professional, but at the same time, I'm like, yo, this is me. My kid's going to show up to some meetings. She's going to have a little bit of my attention every now and then. Like, if I can't answer your call because I'm on a field trip, this is why. This is who she is. It's not me trying to like be all these people at one time without the other person knowing it, right? I don't want to go into a meeting and be like, oh, I am like the best marketing agent ever. I am Shelby. And then, no, it's like, yo, I'm Shelby. This is my kid. This is what I do. I'm a single mom. Like, and I don't make myself a victim of being a single mother. Like, it's an empowerment thing. I have a bunch of friends that have kids, and they're like, how the fuck do you do it? I'm like, bruh, I don't even know. Like, I really don't. Like, some days I'm like, I have no idea how I've gotten through today. I am grateful for what I've done. And I've started this new thing called connecting to my intentions. So every morning at 9 o'clock, I have a reminder on my phone, and it says connect to your intentions. So that's what I do. If I am watching TV, Team Spidey, Jesus Christ, that's literally all we watch right now with her. Anyways, we watch Team Spidey, and I feel like my head's spinning with business, but she's like, Mom, can we just smuggle? Because that's what she said. She's adorable.
Oh,
Can we just smuggle and watch Team Spidey? And it's like, 6 o'clock at night. I'm like, okay, connect to my intentions. My intentions are I'm going to sit here, I'm going to spend quality time with Kinsey, and then you know what? When she goes to bed, I can work on all this other stuff. And I think that's important. We have to sit there and connect to our intentions. And I just started doing this probably about 4 weeks ago. And it's really helped me just focus on that moment rather than feeling guilty that my business doesn't have my attention or feeling guilty that, God, she's over there playing by herself in her room because I'm having to take this call. It helps.
Okay. Okay, this is good. And I respect that a lot because it's a conversation that I've had because my fiance, she's got her own business as well. And it's very much with
Okay.
our daughter, presence is a big thing. So let's just go
Yeah.
into that then. So I'm sure a lot of parents may be listening to this as well, where they have just, maybe been answering work emails, not really taking much,
Yeah.
attention to their, daughter or son or both if they're playing around or want your,
Hmm.
because that's what they want. They want your love. They want your attention.
Yep.
Um, like 4 weeks ago, what made you sort of come to this decision that you're like, right, this is what I'm going to
Hmm.
do? Because if I keep going this way, then what
Yeah.
would the consequences be? I'd just love to know from a parent perspective on that.
I really noticed myself being on my phone. I mean, being in social media, I'm always on social media. It's what I
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
I'm posting on it. I'm looking at trends. I'm really addicted to my email. I'm not going to even lie. I'm super addicted to my email. I feel like I just need like a hit and I just look at my email. Like it's so stupid. I don't know why, but I just feel like I've gotten off like looking at my email for then. So I found myself doing that. It's so dumb. So I found myself doing that. And then one night, she was like, "Hey mom, so where's my phone so I can check my email?" And I was like, well, fuck me right now. Jesus Christ. My kid is 5 years old asking for email. Of course, she already has an email, right? Because I'm like a nerd like that. She's got her own email set up for her future. Anyway, so of course she has her own email, but she doesn't even know that. But then at the same time, I'm like, all she does is sit here and watch me on my phone. So what I started to do was explain to her, hey, listen, mom's on her phone because I'm looking at an email from a client. This is what it's about. People look at me weird when I like start talking to my kid. I talk to her like she's an adult most of the time. And then also I just want her to be educated that I'm not on my phone to ignore you. I'm on my phone because I have another person that needs my attention, but it just happens to be on my phone. And I think as parents, we kind of sit there and we're just like distracted, but our kids are watching us. And I tend to feel guilty about that a lot. Just not even going to lie about it. Like I tend to find myself on my phone even now. And I'm like, God, I need to get off my phone. Or, I really want to text this person because I haven't talked to him all day. Um, so I just try to open up to her and be like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. If I'm in my car, my phone's on my dash and she can see me texting, and I do a lot of voice texting too. And so she's like, well, who was that to? Oh, well, that was to Allie. I'm just telling her, hey, we need to email this person. Or that was to Nick Nick, who's my boyfriend. Like she's very familiar with him. I was just telling him something funny that was happening today. And I think that that's how I help myself through the guilt. But the intentions I heard on an Ed Milet. Don't know if you know him. He's amazing.
Yes, heard
And
of him.
Ed
Yep.
Milet. Oh, literally my favorite. In fact, I would pay so much money to meet him. Anyways, so he's my favorite person to listen to on podcasts. And so he said that about the intentions. He's like, we just got to connect to our intentions. And I'm like, that's so true. So it's just a daily reminder. Doesn't always work. I'm not perfect at it. But then that on top of like, hey, listen, Kinsey, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I think they're do that, right? We ask them questions like, why are you playing with that? Why did you make that decision? Why did you decide to disrespect your teacher today? What was going through your head? So why are we not do that information to them to help them grow faster? So
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I've never sort of
yeah,
heard that before. I mean, obviously, it's very easy to sort of say, and I can honestly resonate with what you shared. That guilt trip of being on your
yeah,
phone, answering a message, something because it's on your mind, and you're like, if I don't do it now,
mm-hmm,
I'll forget
right,
about it. But then they are watching. Like our daughter, she'll
yeah,
pat my phone away to try and knock it out of my hand. She's 2 years
right,
old,
yeah.
so it's
They start
just
noticing, yeah,
yeah, and but it's like being able to be aware of that. But obviously, you've created something that is
mm-hmm,
a, a routine that allows you to
yeah.
sort of connect with it. I know it's only been 4 weeks, but has there been any like impact on this for you being able to connect your intentions with your daughter? Has anything changed there in the relationship or?
Yeah, I've actually found myself to be so much happier. Looked over at Nick the other day. We were, of course, traveling to just a different state, but we were going somewhere for the weekend. And I said, for the first time in 14 years, I feel completely at peace in my life. Like I am not stressed about my mothering. I'm not stressed about my business. I'm not stressed about my relationship with him. Like it's just I even just like right now, I can fully tell you I feel so at peace with everything. I've even been fired by 4 clients over the last week. Okay. That would have made me spiral. I would have been drinking vodka every night. Like, I would just been like, my life sucks. Like, I'm a terrible
Wow.
person. Excuse me. And
It's all right.
so it's one of those things where I just feel at peace finally, even though not everything's perfect. That is not what it is. It's just like I am here, I am present, I am not worried about the future, I'm not worried about the past. I got fired by 2 of those clients in the same day. 2 of my biggest clients, let's just say that. I had to tell my team about it. I had to emotionally go through it. I felt really shitty for a whole 24 hours. I was just like, y'all, this is what happens. I got up the next day and said, you know what, bitches, we on it. Like, this is what it is. I've got 5 proposals going out. We're going to put all the positive energy into these. We're going to really hone in. I had a whole training day with my sales team that I was like, I have to show up for them. My daughter was really moody. I don't know what it is. I feel like when I'm moody, she's moody. And I'm like, bro, like, that doesn't work. Like, I'm gonna need you to take your time. Like you get like next day, I'm getting today. Like we can't both be this. You need to be happy if I'm not happy. But it was one of those things where I'm like, I've got to get over myself, but I allowed myself to feel those emotions, get through them because if I packed them away, what would that do? They would come out at a terrible time when she back like really smart mouth me, like we are really going through that right now. But if she was like, smart mouthing me or if she was being rude to me, I would have taken that aggression out on her and that wouldn't have been fair to her.
Yeah, I think, yeah, totally. And I think this is fair in what you've sort of done here is that presence
Hmm.
slows you down. It's sort of
Yeah.
the chaos, the speed that we go through as business owners and anyone sort of listening, you get ready for it because it hits you,
Yeah.
the chaos, the emotional volatility of just the
Mm.
roller coaster ride of business. But like, those checking in moments, like you say, being present
Hmm.
with your daughter is obviously, you've already just said something that I think is so powerful where it's as though nothing else mattered. Like I could drop 5
Yeah.
clients, like you say, you drop 4 clients, two. You've just given us
Yeah.
the extremity of what's happening, and you're just like, okay, because no,
Yeah.
I'm happy, I'm at peace, I'm dealing with it. But then Shelby, not
Yeah.
so long ago, would have been smash the vodka, going out on there, going crazy, like literally just
Right. Yeah. Quitting my job. Everyone's
yeah,
done.
yeah. Boss is turning into a boss bitch,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Definitely. Like everyone in my path. Bye. I would have
Yeah.
pulled up, gone through depression. I mean, because I battle with depression anyways. And so it's one of those things that would be an easy trigger and an easy excuse for me to stay in bed and be like, we can skip school today. That's fine. We can skip school, whatever. But what is that showing her? What is that showing my daughter? If mom can't go through hard times, what is that showing her? And when I went through that bad day, it happened to be an afternoon that she's with her father. She gets like a couple days a week afternoon with him. And so it gave me about 3 hours to be like, okay, be really somber, be really bad to yourself. And then when she gets here, get your shit together. Like it's okay. And it wasn't completely together. She could tell she's like really great. Her intuition is like mine. And I love that about her. But immediately when she walked, she's like, what's the matter, mommy? And I'm like, like I'm supposed to,
Yeah.
like, why are you know this? And I was like, you know what? Mommy just had a really bad day. I could really use some snuggles. Let's turn on Spidey. Let's do our thing. She's like,
Oh,
oh, I would love that, and just allowing her to show up for me I think is really helping her emotional intelligence as well because I'm not downplaying her as a child. I'm not like, oh, I'm happy all the time. My parents faked it for my entire childhood. I thought we had our shit together. I thought we were the coolest family ever. They got divorced my senior year of high school, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I thought we were good. Like, I mean, it was just like out of the blue, and they never showed any weakness. I was never included in decisions. My dad owns his own business, and, he would just be like, I just have to work. And he'd work from like 2 in the morning to, 10 at night. And I'm like, well, I don't understand what exactly is so important, or he'd work on vacations. And I think that's really helped me shape how I'm parenting my child throughout all this is I don't want her to feel left out. I want her to be like, listen, mom has bad days too. She has bad days. Friends are mean to her. Let's work through it. How did mom handle it? That's how I'm going to handle it, kind of thing.
I think it's great that you've got that vulnerability
Yeah.
to be open to your daughter about. Yeah, I think it's important. I'm just like nodding my head over here. I think it's so good to be able to share with your daughter that yes, we do have bad
Yeah.
days. Yes, I'm not in a great place, and then have that comfort
Yeah.
there. And yeah, like it's helped you as a parent. It's obviously helped you as a business owner, but
Hmm.
also now that you're going into more of that educational space where you're bringing up the new
Yeah.
generation, you're letting them know, look, you're in a filtered world, you're in a masked world, you're in a
Oh,
world where everything can be so faked through AI, as we know. But I'm here to
yes.
tell you that if you want to last in this game, if you want to be in this world, you've
Hmm.
just got to be you. You've got to be true to yourself. You've got to be honest. And that's what I'm feeling from you. It's like
Absolutely.
it's such a personality thing. It's such a like just be you. I mean, if it I mean, I know we've sort of been going on your sort of daughter avenue, which I think
Hmm.
I love that. I mean, I just think it's great. But just for anyone sort of now looking on this horizon of going, you know what,
Hmm.
I'm keen to kick off my business. Um, Not things to look out for, but I guess
Hmm.
what has been the hardest moment for you in your business journey so far that you can remember, and how has that shaped you in the business owner that you are today?
I would say the loneliness of it has been really hard. In fact, if you guys decide to follow me on LinkedIn, I had this conversation with this lady, Kayla McGuire. We have conversations once a month and we post them on LinkedIn. But we talked about the loneliness of leadership. And it really got me to thinking that you are kind of lonely. Like, I'm out here trying to lead a business, I'm out here trying to be a mom, and I don't necessarily have people in my corner that are on the level that I'm on. So then I'm seeking out other people that I don't really know, like a business coach. Like, he understands because he's been there, he helps me through that stuff. But I don't necessarily have friends that are on my level. And so I think that's the biggest thing that I deal with, or the hardest thing I deal with, is the loneliness. And that's even to today. I think that I even have bouts of loneliness of like, does anyone even understand? Like, am I the only one that's ever been through this? Like, there's surely someone else, and I just start seeking validation to fill in that loneliness. And what does that do? Absolutely nothing. I'm on social media. Let's post a selfie. Who cares if anyone likes your fucking selfie? No one cares. Like, that's seeking validation in other ways to fill in that loneliness. So I think that that's where I've really found peace with my partner, because he understands what I've gone through. I understand what he's also a business owner, which really helps. And I understand what he's gone through. So when we are feeling that way, I'm just like, hey, listen, this is what's going on. Can you just like comfort me? Words of affirmation are my love language. I mean, tell me I'm pretty and done. Sweet. I'm filled up for like a week, like I'm done. So I think that even now, that would be the hardest thing I've done as a business owner, is going through that loneliness, feeling as if I'm the only one going through it. So if you guys feel as if you're the only one going through it, trust me when I say we have all gone through that shit. I don't care what season of life we're in. We've all gone through it as a business owner.
Yeah, this is yeah, something I've been through as well. So I mean, you're
Hmm.
literally hitting every note. This is why I set up this platform anyway. I mean, not to go on to that.
Right.
It's just I was lonely, so I
Yeah.
thought, do you know what? I'm going to have conversations with
I
business
love
owners
that.
from all over the world, and this is my personal development tool, and it's literally hit so hard, like it's changed my
I love
life.
that.
And that's why I've been doing it 2 years, and I still continue to do it. But so the loneliness piece, that is, yeah, because I gone
Yeah.
the conversations of, I wouldn't say I was like playing the victim, but yeah, it's just that feeling of being
Right.
understood, heard. And I think for people to understand this, listening in, that if they
Yeah.
are going to step into this world, they're going to lose people. That
Mm-hmm.
they are going to feel on their own. You know, there's going to be a different social circle. There's going to be
Yep.
different, maybe even fall out with family members. You know, there might be their moments where like, oh no, I just feel on my own all the time. Would you say this
Yeah.
loneliness, though, because you said earlier on about the depression that you sort of had this
Mm-hmm.
throughout your life, does that trigger that back? Or because obviously feeling lonely can affect you mentally as well, or is that a totally different thing?
I would say I think it just depends on what triggered the loneliness. Like if those failures that I had last week, okay, I'm having to sit here, sit in my feelings. Okay, now no one understands me, which is not true. We've all been fired. We've all been let down, but it didn't trigger necessarily the depression part. I feel like as if someone didn't show up in my life, like if my partner didn't show up how I needed him to, I'd be like, okay, that may trigger the depression a little bit. I just think it really depends on what causes that loneliness and why I'm feeling that way. But that's why it's so important as a business owner, we have to develop ourselves constantly. Like you're talking about, like, this is your personal development. Like, absolutely. Read the books, listen to podcasts, always develop yourself as a leader and a person. Because if I didn't do that, I would not be who I am today. If I didn't have my amazing therapist, I wouldn't have worked through all the trauma I had during my first marriage at 18 years old. Like, I had to get rid of that baggage to even be successful because I was holding on to it and putting that trauma in different areas of my life, in my business, and it was affecting that. So you have to be able to learn about yourself, accept things about yourself, and really understand that developing it is going to get you past those lonely points. Because we're going to feel it, but it's how do you get through that moment? And you just have to develop it.
Yeah, but it's coming quite clear though. I totally agree with it. It's coming clear that it's working on yourself, right? So you know,
Yes.
that's the key sort of thing here is that you know if you are to work through this and see the light at the end of the tunnel, that you have to look at yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of sort of guests who's been on here have it's interesting, like this sort of transformational breakthrough, if you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
came from working from within. You know, they've sort of gone on
Yep.
this, whether it's spiritual, whether it's just, you know, environmental change, whether it's sort of throwing themselves
Mm-hmm.
into something that they haven't ever experienced, has been that like
Right.
light bulb to go, oh, something's changed. So I think that's a really good sort of reflection piece. But you know, for you now, as a CEO, obviously you are a marketing boss. You definitely give that
Mm-hmm.
energy. What message? What do you want to give to the world now? So anyone listening in all over the world, what is your message?
My message is to stay consistent in everything of your life. Yes, we can say consistent in marketing. We're posting consistently, we're showing up online, but show up for yourself consistently because if you don't do that, you will fail at the other things. I know that if I'm missing a day of working out, whether it be a walk or doing my weights or my Peloton or something like that, I am not showing up for myself that day. So I'm not going to show up for somebody else. And I think being consistent in everything has helped me be consistent in business. And I've seen it correlate to each other. If I'm over here not showing up for myself, somehow I'm not showing up for people in my business either. So I think that would be the biggest message is stay consistent in everything that you're doing because ultimately it's going to pay off and it's going to like coexist with each other. Your personal life, your business life, your leadership, parenting, all of it coexist. And if you keep that consistency, it's going to help you out.
Brilliant. That is amazing. I love that message, especially the stuff that's behind the scenes that people don't see. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
this is what this show stands for. It's human first, entrepreneur second.
Mm-hmm.
That is what it is, and you've just like boom, like and again another mic drop moment for people to know
Thank you.
what's you know it's gonna yeah, but it's gonna cut through years of hurt. It's gonna cut through years of
Yeah,
mistakes if you can be consistent at those things. So I love that you've shared that.
absolutely.
And for you, like with being consistent and you know following
Hmm.
through, because obviously you will live your message. You obviously follow your message.
Hmm.
What has that done for your personal life and your business by consistently doing it?
I'm just happier with myself. I mean, I know that if I'm not showing up for myself, then I am not happy. I mean, if I miss something, if I'm not eating right that day, I mean, I'm not happy. If I'm sitting there, drinking vodka, which obviously is my choice of drink, and I'm okay with that. But, if I'm having a bad day, I now trade the vodka for a time at the gym, because I've known that that makes me happier. It doesn't bring me down, it brings me up. And so that's just really what staying consistent. And let's think about the whole, having my team. I had a team, totally failed. Now I have another team. It's going great. So it's one of those like I've stayed consistent and been like, okay, here's my goal, here's my goal, here's my goal. I'm looking at it, I'm searching for it, and now I'm here. And so it's just taking this, okay, what's my goal now? Here's my goal, here's my goal, here's my goal. I've stayed consistent and we're going to get there. So I think that's really, I'm just a lot happier. I think that really also helps with the peace as well. But I don't want people thinking I've got my shit together or that, I do this every day, all day perfectly. Like, no, we are still human. We still fail ourselves. I still don't show up every now and then, but I do notice a difference.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're very honest. You're very raw. You're
Yeah.
saying it how it is. You're like, look, listen, I'm not perfect. I don't do it every single day. I don't have all my
Hmm.
shit together. I'm not, but I am doing my best to show up for my daughter, but myself most
Yeah.
importantly first, because you can't give what you don't have. And I
Yeah.
think the messages sort of been really good today in regards to how the business has formed, what the success has been for you, and the delegation, the sort of happiness piece, the harmony, the,
Hmm.
like I say, just peace in general.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? I reckon there could even be a part two on this. I swear down, like, 'cause I feel like there's so many angles that we've sort of gone into, and we've had to like
Yeah.
go down somewhere else. But look, Shelby, we are getting towards the end of this episode, and
Yeah.
I just want to ask you. Well, there's a couple of questions, but this is one of the main
Okay.
questions I ask every single guest on the show, and I really want to know your perspective. And I think I've already got an idea in my mind what you'll say, but because it might be repeated. But what does mastering your life mean to you?
Oof. That I wake up every day happy with what I've created. I feel like that would be mastering my life because I've woken up so many days that I'm like, is this the life I want? Is this really what I want to do every day? Is this something that I want to feel every day? So I think waking up happy, excited, having my goals ahead of me is really what's worth mastering my life.
Boom. I love it. I
Yeah,
literally had him. I had in my head happy or freedom, something like that.
there you go. Yeah,
So it sort of concludes this episode really well. So look,
good.
if anyone is sort of listening to this episode, just so you know, we'll include all of your links in the show
Cool.
notes so people can click and follow. Where's the best place though, if someone was even to want to drop you a message, start a
Yeah.
conversation?
You can go to themktgbroker.com, so the marketing broker, and you can just fill out the contact us form. It comes directly to me and just be like, yo, I heard you on Luke's podcast. What's up? Tell me about it. You can even have, you can like book a free consult and just put in the description, like, heard you on the podcast, want to talk more. Absolutely. You have 30 minutes of my time. We'll talk about your business. We'll talk about you. We'll talk about your parenting, whatever you want to talk about that you've resonated with this for sure.
Oh, brilliant. I really appreciate that, you're happy to give that back to anyone
Of
that's sort of
course.
listening to this show. But look, obviously, we're on these time zone differences. You've joined us
Yeah.
today. What time is it where you're at the minute?
It is currently 10:10 a.m.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So we're 8 hours forward, so it's 4:10
Hmm.
in the UK.
Okay.
But I just want to say honestly, Shelby, this has been such a great hour, nearly a power hour,
Yes,
on the show today, and thank you so much for sharing all the
of
insights
course.
with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.